Hi, this is Jamie Magritte. I'm in my craft room again today. I just want to share with you some crayola brushes that I found that I've been using for stencil type brushes or ink blending brushes, and a little card that I made using them. So let me flip down and we'll get started today. Make sure you can see the whole project. Okay, this is the project that I'm working on, or that I made. These are the brushes. They're Crayola. They come in this set of 4 with these 4 brushes in it. They're under $5. They're like $3 and something. And they work very similar to a lot of the other blending type brushes, but I couldn't afford them, so I saw these. It's like, let's give them a try. What do I have to lose? The purple one is my favorite size, but obviously they come in all different sizes, so they work really great. So we're going to make this card, and what we're going to need is some Avery removable ID label that I'm going to use as a stencil. I've already taken a piece of it and cut an oval out of the center. I just used my Big Shot and this die. I apologize, I can't tell you exactly the brand. I don't remember. It's approximately 3 by 4 inches, approximately. Okay, so that part is done already. We're not going to need the center part. You can put that aside for another project. We're going to just need this part. We need a card base. This is Bristol Smooth cardstock. I find it works the best for ink blending and for certain watercolor blending. This is 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. We need a piece of gold paper, which is 5 1/4 by 4, piece of black, which is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and a card base, which is a half of a card, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. So let's place those aside for now. We also need this stamp set here. I'm using the trees and the Celebrate the Joy of Christmas from this GINA K Designs stamp set. This is called Christmas Greenery. I've already got them mounted on my Misty. And I need that little circle I just saw. Okay. I also used some art glitter glue, some little star glitters, GINA K amalgam black, jet black ink, distress oxide ink, salty ocean, ice spruce, and faded jeans. And let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is, I already have this one stamped because I need one that's dried, is stamp our image. So we're going to put our cardstock in. And I like using the Misty because I'm not a great stamper, and that way if it doesn't stamp good, I can stamp it again. So I'm going to ink it up. And stamp it, and I place this a little bit lower onto this side because when I put my oval down, I want it to peek out the bottom of this one side of the oval a little bit. That's not bad at all. Okay. Alright, and just for, actually that's pretty dry. I think I'm going to use this one then. I'll place this one aside so I don't get ink all over. I'm going to place that underneath there, close this up and move it away. Okay, now for this part. we're going to take our mask. This is the hardest part of the whole thing, is getting this masking paper up, the paper off the back of it. And that little circle that I just had, where did it go? Okay, well I can't find it, so I'm just going to grab something else off my desk. There's another circle that's a little bigger, but I just put a little piece of paper on one corner, so when I go to take it off, I have something clean that I can grab onto, and it helps it to lift off a little bit easier. Okay, now I'm going to put this over our trees, kind of centered, but we want that one corner of the trees to stick out the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and place this down. Okay. Now we're going to start with our ink blending. I'm going to start with the a salty ocean. I'm going to use a littler one, I like it better. And you just ink it up. You just grab a little ink off of your thing, and you're going to wipe a little bit of it off onto a scrap paper, so you don't get quite a harsh line, just like you would if you were doing with the other. Start off the paper, a soft circular motion, and just ink this bottom quadrant here of this. This is going to represent snow. If anybody's actually looked at snow, you'll see that the shadows in the snow are not white. They're usually like a bluish grayish color. So this bottom quadrant here is going to represent snow. Okay, so we'll put that aside for now. We're done with that for a minute. Then we're going to go to the iced spruce. And the iced spruce we're going to do in this middle. So again, we're going to put some ink on. We're going to ink it off. I'm going to start off the page. I'm going to ink this middle. And I just like to do a little circular motion back and forth. Sometimes I just go straight. Doesn't really matter. I'm using the oxide inks because if you do get a harshness, you still can blend it out. A little bit more ink. I just want to put a little on here at this point. Okay, then we're going to take the faded jeans. We're going to do the top part. That's the sky area. It's real soft. Basically, I'm just kind of scribbling it on, letting the brush to blend it out. Okay, and I also have this piece of paper here that is just a scrap piece of paper, and I just cut a jagged edge on it. I'm going to add a little bit of like a mountain range tree line to this. So I'm using the ice spruce. Again, I'm starting on the paper, just inking across, and I'm going to move it a little bit up. Okay, I'm going to go back to this one again, and I'm going to add a little bit darkerness to it. That time I didn't wipe off quite as much, and it get a little bit of lines in it, but that's okay because it adds a little bit of texture. And then see, I have mountains in there. A little bit more over here. Okay. We're done with that. And I think I'm just going to add a tiny bit more here in the sky. Okay, so we're done with this. Put the lids back on these. Okay, and we're going to pick this up. Get our Misty back out. Now I'm going to put it back in to the tree part, right where it was originally, and I'm going to add another layer of black ink over the top because a little bit of that ink has dulled that just a hair. So I want it to be nice and crisp, so ink that up. Actually, it might be too wet, so let's, because I had this wet thing sitting on it, so let me wipe it off. And make sure it's not wet, and now ink it up. Because if it's wet on the edges, it's going to bleed. This is optional. You don't have to do this step again. I just like the dark Christmas of the trees. Okay. I'm going to wash this off again so it doesn't get my Misty all mucky. Now on the other side, I've already placed the sentiment. Let's turn it around. This way at least. Okay, so I placed the sentiment up in this top corner here. The first thing I want to do is make a little bit of a drop shadow. So I want to take like a scrap of paper, and I'm just going to put that in the Misty and then line up the card with that. So it's just a hair away from the corner on the bottom. My magnets on it. I need that corner. I'm going to put it down here. Okay, then I'm going to stamp it up with the Salty Ocean Oxide ink. Stamp it down. A little bit more there. Didn't get the bottom of the Christmas. The S. Okay. Now I gotta take a moment and dry that, because the next step won't work if I don't. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Okay, I just had to dry it because if you don't dry it, on this one you'll see the Christmas isn't as crisp. It kind of blurs a little bit because it blended out. This one is nice and crisp because I dried it in between layers. Okay, now this time we're going to push it in all the way against the bottom, so we're not going to have that little bit of a difference. And we're going to wash off our stamp. Make sure it's good and dry, and stamp it with the amalgam ink. See, it's nice and crisp. Okay, we're done with this. Done with this. Alright, now we just need to assemble the card. So while that dries, we'll do the card base part itself. Gotta get this out of the way. Alright, we're going to glue the black piece to the top of this. Alright, let's put it together now. We'll take our black piece, some glue. This is art glitter glue. This is the same size as the front of our card. So we're going to mount it to the front of the card. Gold piece. It's going to go on that, layered on top. It's just got a little bit of a layer to it. This piece will get layered on top of that. Okay, and then to finish it off, we're just going to take 3 little gold stars. Put one here up on top of the tree, a couple over here, and then our card is completed. There we go. There's our card for today. Thank you for joining me in my craft room, and I hope you have a very good day.